Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for April 11th, 2011. This is Patrick Ceresna. As always, we start off with a chart of the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange rate fund symbol SPY. We had been talking about that we were looking for significant overhead resistance up in this 134 to 138 area, and more or less we got right up into that 134, 135 focal point this week, and more or less spent the entire week in a very sideways consolidation right within those zones. Right at the tail end of that week, we had a little bit of distribution selling that has the SPDR trading all the way down below the 133 level. At this point, we still think that the market may penetrate deep into that blue box, but right now we cannot rule out the possibility that that this could be a double top forming up along here with a reversal down. We don't favor that scenario. We still believe that even if right now the market dropped down towards the 130, 131 level with a little bit of profit taking, it should use that as support and turn back up and make a solid penetration up into the 130, even 136 or 138 area on the upside. In the much bigger picture, though, we do believe that the year highs, or at least the highs of this in a big cycle before a corrective phase, will come somewhere up along here. So going into the latter part of the second quarter, maybe it'll be an earnings driven story. We anticipate that some sort of a topping formation will start to develop along here. Even our most optimistic forecast only lies at the 140 level on the SPDR. So the way I want to summarize is that we're short-term bullish, anticipating the market to continue to advance, but a more intermediate, we're looking for a market top to develop along these high zones. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is symbol JLO. We had a break higher out of this descending trend line. This is a critical moment for regional banks, because if they can actually maintain above this 24.50 support line below and actually roll up after these two little down days, they could very easily see a push up into the 26.50, 27 level, which could be one of the drivers of all of the bullishness within the market. But in the same regard, if we see any legitimate rollback down to its previous lows, that would actually be quite bearish at almost like a failed breakout attempt, and then we'd have to go to a whole number of scenarios that wouldn't bode well for regional banks. But really at this stage, we want to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt and see whether they can hold these support lines here and roll it up. If they do, then we'll be targeting 26.50, 27 over the next couple of weeks. Next here, we're going to take a look at the ISE Syndex, which is a symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies, and just a phenomenal bullish recovery right back to the 134, 136 overhead resistance level on this index. Really, at this juncture, with such a very strong bullish recovery, it's quite possible that we may have a little bit of backfilling or retracing or sideways consolidation for a week along this line here. But if at any stage the Syndex actually breaks to higher highs above this 136 level on the upside, then we could actually see 140, 142, 144 on the upside, but that would probably be done in the context of a fully bullish market. So we'd want to see the S&P 500 and regional banks and a whole series of other things all bullishly moving with it. If we do see that, then we could see higher highs on this after such a dramatic recovery. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is symbol RUF, and more or less right along the 949.50 level where we marked off. The support lines came in last week and held. So we have the situation where home builders have been relatively weak compared to all other sectors, but they're in the same regard, they at least initially are holding support lines at a key level. So at this point, the trend line I kind of drew in there, if we see home builders roll up bullish bearishly above that trend line, particularly gun for that 10 to 1020 focal point up above, then we could be seeing a reversal off of these lows in home builders. But we're not going to be necessarily anticipating that here yet until we see follow through, because at this point, if there's no bullish follow through on the upside, any push down below 940 would immediately open the window for home builders to deteriorate down to the 880 to 9 level, where a lot of major lows occurred in 2010. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is symbol FUM. We were targeting our first target up into this 143 to 145 level, marked off by the first blue box. Had a little bit of selling and a reversal back in there. There is a measured move that targets even as high as 150, 155. Recognize that this is a very distinctly bullish trend that is well underway, and so long as the US dollar weakness persists and subsequent strength in commodities is the story and the theme, then we certainly cannot rule out that natural gas index will make another attempt to break that 145 level and gun for 150, 155 on the upside. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX, and the FTSE has more or less reached its previous highs, completely undoing the damage that was occurred in that little sell-off that had a test of that 555 to 560 focal point below. Really, at this juncture, again, the FTSE, just like all the other global indices like the S&P 500 and DAX and a number of other ones, are approaching the levels where they're sort of at a make it or break it. Either A, they consolidate downwards, which we could see the UKX first have to retest that 590 level just below, but eventually we believe that these markets will all attempt to make a higher high at some point here and actually make a push higher. So we're going to be observing and watching what comes of this kind of an opportunity. Ultimately, though, just like the S&P 500, we do believe that the FTSE will actually be capped somewhere between this 610 to 640 area on the upside, and 640 even is the most optimistic scenario. 620, 630 is probably where even a breakout attempt should stall and run out of juice up into those areas. And in the bigger picture, we are looking for all of these markets to begin some sort of a topping formation going into May. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.